Hi everyone. When you try to solo on the guitar, I think one of the most important tips that anyone can ever give you is this. Remember, you're playing a guitar. The guitar can do so many things so many other instruments can't do. You can bend notes, you can stretch notes, you can imply notes, you can hammer on notes, you can slide to notes, you can play passing notes, you can play trills, you can do so many different things. Every rhythm accessible to your brain and body, you can play on the guitar. You can play one note at a time. You can play two notes at a time. Da-da, da-do, da-dum. But you're playing a guitar. Don't play the guitar like you're playing a xylophone or a piano, where you can literally play one note, and you can still slur notes on those, but not like you can on a guitar. So that's, I think, the most important thing to remember. You're playing a guitar and it can be so vocal-like, you know. And then the second thing that I think so many of us fail to learn how to do is to actually make notes work. We all try to learn 500 scales, 30 arpeggios, 700 different licks for this chord or by that person. And you try to remember all this stuff, but in the end, what it comes down to is, can you play a solo? Can you play a solo if you only can play 4 notes? You can only use 4 places to put your fingers on the neck? Well, it's a great thing to try to learn. So here's an example for you today. I have an E blues in a backing track. I have a drum beat, and I'm going to limit myself to these 4 notes, D, E, G, and A of the E minor pentatonic scale, and I'm going to play over a E7 blues. Then A7. Then B7, A7, to B. So those 3 chords, when I limit myself to these 4 notes, E, G, A, and D, for every one of those chords, I have at least 2 chord tones in very accessible in my fingers. For one of the chords, I can actually get all 4 notes. For the second chord, I can get 3. And for the last chord, I can actually get 3 too. So let's see. For the E chord, you could play the E is the root. You could play the D as the 7th. You could play the D, the E. You can stretch your G sharp, your G to imply a G sharp. You can stretch your A or bend your A to give you the B note. So for your E7 chord, you got 4 notes, really. For your A7 chord, you actually have 3 notes in your hand. You have the E is the 5th, the G is the 7th, and the A is the root. So and then for the B7 chord, you have an A note is the 7th of the B. You could bend your A up to a B to give you the B, and then you have the A. And you also can bend your D note up to a D sharp. So I'm going to just put on this track. I have a bass line and a drum track, And I'm just going to play you a couple courses of this blues using just those two ideas. I'm going to play the guitar. I'm going to do as many things as I can legally around these 4 notes. And I'm going to try to highlight those chord tones that work very closely in these 4 notes as the chords happen. I hope you like this lesson. I hope you try it. Limit yourself. Learn how to find the chord tones by bending or stretching notes. Here's the drum, this track. This is 80 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4.